Everybody, welcome to another episode of SubculturedTV. My name's Tyler.
I'm Jess.
And I'm Chris.
And today we're going to be talking about the definitive list of the top animes of the fall 2023 season. So I'm going to kind of just start off by saying this. I have been pleasantly surprised with how many good animes. I'm actually really sad for a lot of animes that came out this season, because if they came out last season when everything was doggy doo-doo, I think they actually would have been like very popular shows. But because there's so much to watch this season, and I can't even watch all of it this season, there's probably going to be a lot of things that just don't get renewed because of that.
Is there anything about like fall season animes being better than summer?
There's probably still a lot of competition for it.
Yeah. The only reason I ask is because summer, I feel like, was just really mid for a lot of the animes, and then a lot of the fall ones are turning out to be so good that it's good. Right? It feels weird. I feel like there's something wrong. Like I should be expecting something different.
Yeah, and I think what kind of made it hard was there's a lot of continuation animes this season, right? Mm-hmm. So I think like this is the first time in a while that we've had like 24 episode seasons from like more than just one or two. Mm-hmm. So there's quite a bit, and honestly, a lot of them deservingly are the top ones still this season.
Yeah, and what's really cool about the ones that were continued is they are actually sticking for the most part to their release schedule.
Yeah.
And it's not like Record of Ragnarok, they had a long season, I think, for the second season, but they released the first half, and then the second half came like months later, and it's like, well, at that point, it's 3 seasons.
Yeah.
You can't just
I feel like that's like a Netflix issue, though.
But I feel like a lot of other animes do that too, like Attack on Titan.
Yeah, Attack on Titan. Yeah, that was rough.
Did you guys see that Zom is actually coming back though?
Yeah, for the last 3 episodes or something.
Yeah. So
when is it starting?
I can't remember if it's this month or next month.
Okay.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm right there with you, but I'm at least happy that it's coming back.
Me too. But maybe let them finish all of them before starting to release the one they have done.
Yeah. Yeah, because it sucks because that probably would have been one of my tops if it just had a decently consistent release schedule for last season.
Yeah, but I really like the vibe of Zom 100. It's very similar to like Undead Unluck, and I feel like we haven't seen that style of humor and storytelling a lot. Like we have like your classic shonen, your classic
like very adult, like teen.
Yeah.
But like not necessarily action. Like yes, in both there's action, but that's not the focal point.
Yeah,
like
it's
in
not
JJK.
what drives the plot forward.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I really like it.
I think that's a good place to start because I think we were all in agreement that Undead Unluck does deserve to be one of the top
100%.
animes this season. I think it's safe to say everything that we're going to recommend here, at least one or two of us think is an S. Most likely 3 of us like all think is an S tier show.
And Unluck is definitely that S tier show, though.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess I'll just give a brief synopsis of it. It follows this girl who every single person that she touches or that touches her, some bad luck befalls them. You know, some things can be minor. A lot of them are usually everyone she touches and loves ends up dying.
Yeah.
So it can be really bad. She finally encounters someone who just seems like a psychopath, who is a psychopath, let's be honest, whose name is Andy, and we find out that he also has a power, and what it is he's unkillable. So he's lived a very, very long time, not in a lolly way. The guy looks very, very big, not old, but, you know, they didn't at least make him a lolly, thank goodness. But, yeah, it's pretty much about she can finally find someone that, you know, doesn't die, and he can finally find someone that might be able to help him die. So it's a very interesting story, but they team up together and have to go up against agencies and other things that come on along the way.
And like Undead, he's probably like as a protagonist type where it's like I actually enjoyed something of him where we don't get to see too often, where he's such a good guy where I think it was episode 1, like where he tried to take advantage at first as a not necessarily as a joke, because he took it as a wait, the longer I touch you, the more intimate we are, the bigger chance I have to become unalived.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And then she was finally willing to like do it, and he was like, no. that in the manga for me when I first read it, I was like, wow, this guy's actually not a pig.
Yeah, he's not like Denji.
Yeah, which Denji's an interesting character that I don't know how to feel about.
Yeah, I love that people are like, oh my gosh, I love Denji. And it's like,
do you?
But you wouldn't
in
real life.
It's kind of like almost every like pervy person from anime that were like, oh my gosh, like they're so cool, like I they're such a good person. I'm like, if they were in real life, like you would actually shit your pants.
Yeah,
from how scared you are of them.
I feel like the only perfect example of like them being represented and how people react with them is Jiraiya, because every single person, no one's like, oh yeah, he's like super cool, like I like him, and he's definitely like not someone that we should watch out for. Like I feel like everyone has the right idea about him. Like if he was your teacher, you'd probably laugh and you'd probably have a lot of fun, but like he's still a pervert.
Like you still.
But then you have like girls like simping for Denji, and it's like
yeah, well at least Denji doesn't do things without consent. Like, if you remember Hercules, the Disney movie, Phil is out of control.
Yeah.
He's out of control.
But loved, which is crazy.
It's only because he had Danny DeVito's voice, though.
Huh?
It was only because Danny DeVito voice acted him.
Yeah, that's true.
Crazy, yeah.
Yeah, but, yeah, so I think Undead Unluck is definitely one of the top ones.
Yeah, for sure. For this season, like, but even just, like, outside of this season, like, it has such a good vibe. Like, it's so pleasant to watch.
It's finally not isekai. That's what I like about this season. Like, there's for a season that followed up a season with a lot of isekais, I can't really think of any that really came out this season.
Returner's Magic?
Yeah. No.
No? Is that not an isekai?
No, like, because most of the things that are weirdly, I think
it's like a VR MMO.
I was gonna say we're more so in the VR MMO stage now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I predicted this. Someone give me my tarot cards or something.
I think you even said it a couple episodes ago, like recent.
I did, but I also said it all the way back in spring season or summer season when I specifically said, hey, after this isekai craze, I think it's going to be like an MMO RPG craze next. And here we are.
Speaking of which.
Which one?
I have to get something off my chest. This anime has entered my top 5.
Of all time?
Of all time.
Yep.
It's Goodnight World.
Yep.
It's on Netflix. It's an MMO based anime.
Did you finish it?
No, I haven't finished it yet.
Okay, there's gonna be some spoilers.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm gonna try not to spoil too much.
It's so good. Okay. So like Tyler said, it follows this. I have to spoil the first 2 episodes at least.
That's fine.
You're going to have to spoil the first episode because honestly, I almost dropped it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, there's a game world called Planet, and it's like a very immersive, like almost like virtual reality kind of thing where you're in that world. And it follows basically this family in real life who became a family in the game without knowing that that family in the game is their real life family, and they don't get along with their real life family
at all.
Like they resent each other.
They hate each other. But you find out in the game world, because they don't know it's each other, that they actually really love each other. Yeah. And each episode has a fun plot twist.
Yeah.
And you really don't know where you're going. Like it changes up on you every single episode. But none of it feels like an afterthought. It's never like, oh, the author just threw that in to like trick us. Like you see hints of it very early on if you actually pay attention. Yeah. But there are some emotional moments. There are ups and downs. There's risk being taken. There is a character unalived.
There's like like everyone's mind gets blown. Like, I feel like, I don't know. Like, for me, this is one of the first, like, I love Undead Unluck. I love, like, a lot of the animes that came out this season. This anime had me excited. Like, very few animes get me excited about anime. You know what I mean?
You were excited even based off the trailer.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. And then it ended up like getting like even better than I imagined. But like I liked from what I saw from the trailer because of like the art style, like the concept, like it sounded pretty interesting. But the trailer doesn't touch on anything.
No.
Yes.
You
and one of the best parts is like after everyone's done watching it, I would love to have like a moral dilemma conversation about that show specifically, because there are a couple choices in which Tyler and I completely disagree on if it was ethically, morally right. Or and things
so
about
it's like
redemption.
like an Attack on Titan.
Yes.
Feel.
Except each character, you have
a different choice.
A different, and it's so. It's like I need to discuss it because I'm very curious on what your thoughts are too.
Yeah.
I'll have it done by this weekend.
Okay.
Here's how good this thing is. I watched Attack on Titan, the final episode, and then I binged the rest of Goodnight World. I wanted to watch Goodnight World before Attack on Titan, but I was like, you know what? That was more so my anger because Attack on Titan split up their final part.
Yeah.
But I watched it. Yeah. You know, we'll eventually get into Attack on Titan, but man, I thought it was great. I cried. I was like, too, how could anything follow this up? I cried again. I cried again
twice.
And I didn't even lose I didn't even, like, you know how sometimes you watch a banger anime and then you try to watch something else because you're like, oh, I have nothing else to do. And then you're like, I'm bored. Let me just turn it off and watch it again later. Like, that didn't happen. So, like, for me, for that to be a case, like, with something as big as, like, the ending of Attack on Titan, not even the ending of a season of Attack on Titan, like, the ending.
Yeah.
Like, that's huge. But I don't know. I'm, like, but I'm also, like, the biggest Goodnight World fan. Yeah. I think at this point.
I get why. I mean, it's beautiful storytelling. It's great animation.
Yeah, great character development.
Yeah, the way that the characters, interact with each other, like, it's an anime that you start off hating the main character. You probably hated him too.
Yeah.
Shiro, yeah.
Yeah, but Shiro is the...
Oh, Shiro is Ichi.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ichi, yeah.
Shiro is Ichi.
No, Shiro is the character of the dad.
Oh, no, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, sorry.
So Ichi is...
Ichi,
oh, my gosh. Now I don't even...
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. The main character.
Nissan.
Oh my gosh.
You get to that about
Oh, you got to the brother's like personality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
which it's another thing I want to talk about so much. But Ichi actually gets a character arc, and I end up actually really rooting for Ichi and like liking him at the end. And he really does a lot for the family. Yeah. Without really wanting anything in return, which is so opposite of how he started.
Yeah. I like that no one, the entire show doesn't force redemptions on you. Mm-hmm. If anything, it just forces a mind shift of, like, because things you didn't know.
But at the same time, like, there's even the question of, was this character redeemed or not? Right, and that's where we're going to get some really interesting conversations, because...
Oh, that sounds like a fun future episode.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you haven't watched it, I really highly recommend anyone goes and watch it. Again, it is on Netflix.
So that means all the episodes are out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Most people, I know most people have Netflix. Definitely go ahead and give that one a
And I think it's only 12 episodes, too.
Yeah, and if you don't have it, they have like a 30-day free trial. You can bang it out all in one night and you're good to go.
It's one of those ones like 86, right? Where it's like, it's a perfect one-season banger. Mm-hmm. I think this one is actually a better one-season banger, which says a lot. Because I'm also like the biggest 86 fan in the world. Well,
yeah, I'm like, Jess.
I
She's
love
like
86.
Yeah.
Just the more episodes.
She just doesn't like soldiers having a life.
Episodes.
She was like, Coney, put those kids back to work.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, since you touched on it, we can go on to AOT next, which I thought was...
We're not going to give a synopsis for AOT.
No.
You shouldn't. I mean, like, this is the finale at this point, you know? Bless you. Like, Attack on Titan, I mean, it's weird 'cause I hated the ending. And, like, they changed, like, a few things.
Yeah.
But I hated the ending in the manga. I'll be honest. In the anime...
Well, a lot of people did, right?
Yeah. Dude, like, I would say, like, 90% of the community probably hated it.
Yeah.
In the anime, though, it was immaculately, like, done.
But what's crazy is there's still people that are mad. And like, doesn't that upset you that there's people that will be mad no matter what?
Because most people take the ending as like it meant nothing because the cycle continued, right?
Yeah.
But that wasn't Aaron's plan. His plan was just to give his friends.
I was
and
gonna
loved
say,
ones,
yeah, he doesn't care about the.
He doesn't
people
care about
of
future
Paradise.
generations.
Yeah.
He knows that like war is just an innate human thing.
Yeah, it's in human nature, which is the whole point of the
which is why
anime.
he balanced it, right?
Yeah.
He's like it's human nature when you have the numbers, but until you have the numbers and it's 50-50, you're much less likely to get into a fight.
Which is why so many people were upset, because I know that's a lot of people's argument. It was like, well, then why did he have to annihilate 80% of the planet? And I'm like, obviously,
he didn't have to.
Yeah.
That was the answer. Is he didn't have to, but one, he wanted to, and two, it was the best way to make sure nothing could happen.
Well, yeah, because you're not going to invade another place while you're trying to rebuild everything. You know.
My favorite part was when they show like what would have happened. So the alternate reality of if Mikasa actually confessed her love to Eren, like pretty much that alternate reality shows if she went through with it, he would have given up. He would have actually not done the rumbling and ran away with her. That was like confirmed author like what it was supposed to show. And basically like the fact that he was so mean to her is because he was trying to stop her from confessing to him because he knows what happens if she does. And oh my gosh, isn't that the cutest little thing?
Yeah, I also like that he like purposely turned everyone into a Titan to show that now that no one is a Titan, no one can be a Titan, right? Because if he didn't do that and he just took away the Titan powers, then it's just all speculation.
Yeah.
Like, what if someone still had the ability to turn into a Titan? But the fact that he did that, like, everything he did was, like, thought out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, dude, the author pre-planned so many things that I really, like, loved. Especially, like, the whole, like, chapter not ending at 140, 139 for, like, freedom that Eren never got. Even, like, how Mikasa was drawn, like, looking through Eren's eyes. I don't know, have you guys heard the one that Eren had his eyes closed throughout the entire rumbling?
No.
Yeah, so the moment the rumbling activated, he had his eyes shut the whole time.
So that way he wouldn't see it, or what?
No, he knew how everything was going to play out, so what was the point?
Oh.
But he opened his eyes the moment Mikasa was in front of him at the exact moment, so the last thing he got to see was her.
I don't know if... Could he see through the eyes of the Titans? Or I'm pretty sure because there was... two scenes in particular. One is the one where the thing steps on the kid that he saves early on. And the only reason that in the early on he like has this like distraught look on his face is because he knows that he ends up stepping on him. So he saw that somehow. Whether through the Titans or through his own eyes, I don't know.
Or it could just been because he's connected to Founder Time, so he sees everything all the time that's happening at once.
So it could be that he is closing his eyes only because he's already seeing everything. He doesn't need to for it to be open. Because the baby one in the last season, not the last season, but the final season is what it was titled. So like 3 seasons ago. In that one, he passed. This is when they're in Marley.
Or the pregnant woman.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he like has this like huge meltdown, and it's because that's the woman with the baby.
Yeah, that's in the scarf or whatever.
But he would have only seen that if he could see either through the Titans or his own. Like, he would have had to see that in order for him to have that reaction. So he definitely saw the rumbling.
Yeah. Well, no, but like the speculation is that he, because he could see every Titan's connected to the paths, right? And because he's connected to the Founder, he's connected to the paths. So he could see everything without having to actually see. So, like, the whole thing was that he saw Mikasa with his own eyes right before, the beheading.
Even the Founder, though, was so interesting, right? Where, like, the Founder doesn't care about anything. She just wants to see, like, from Mikasa's point of view, like, the same thing that she had to kind of go through.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? Like, so messed up.
Yeah. And why was she in her child form only?
I think... Because isn't that when she died?
No. In all of the flashbacks, she's an adult woman.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? That might have been when she touched the source of life or whatever, that little
like
spine jellyfish thing. Yeah,
whatever it is.
Yeah. And are we gonna talk about how much it's grown? Like back then, it used to be like this big, and all of a sudden it's like
a mountain.
Yeah.
But
you can't say it just grew because of age, because it's been alive for so long. What did these last like 10 years do for you that it just or not? Yeah.
Or maybe it has something to do with like the Doomsday Titan, whatever they're calling that form for Eren.
The spine one.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I saw, that spine sculpture in New York that we always make fun of?
Yeah, the one that like looks like Godzilla's back.
Yeah, I saw someone take a video of that and was like, man, everything's reminding me of him.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's funny.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Attack on Titan was nearly perfect.
I thought it was.
It would have been perfect if he just did 100% of the population. That wasn't. God.
Again, that's a moral dilemma, and I would love to talk about that part too.
The reason why I would like to see it, and maybe this is a messed up reason, I would like to see it because I would like them to have the same exact ending, where even though 100% of the world's population happens, you still have the ending with the atomic bombs still dropping, because like even though they're all the same people, they don't care. It's just about someone else just came into power.
I mean, technically, we still saw, something like that within the anime, right? Because, like, depending what section of the wall that you live is, like, what class you're in, and then whether you were an MP or, like, a regular civilian, were you part, like, whatever, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I would have had different solutions than Eren, but at the same time, he was going to die. So I kind of get it. He only had a couple years to live. Like, there was no other...
Right? Like, that's the thing that, like, upsets me is everyone's like, oh my gosh, like, Eren, like, could have tried all of these things. It's like, he only had 2 years. Did you want him to go on, like, a tour bus of, like, the Paradise Island states and just be like, guys, we're good, people?
Oh, and here's another thing. This one was such a no-brainer to me that it confused me a little when they were like, prove to me that you can't turn into Titans, right?
Yeah.
The audience were like, prove to me that you, and they were like, well, how? We can't turn into Titans. Like, how would we prove it to you? Have you heard of healing? Remember that? Like, just give yourself a cut. Be like, hey, it's not healing away.
But the only people that could do that were the 9 Titan shifters.
Yeah, that's who they were talking to.
Oh, I thought they were talking to
I think they were talking about the whole people. They're like, there's a chance that you guys could still turn into Titans.
No, but the 9, like, Titans were there. They were part of the Titans. And it's like, well, it's a founding Titans who we know for sure always like self-heals, right? Like, they're not trying to. In fact, like, most people are surprised by it when it happens for the first time. So it's like, just like give yourself a little cut, right? And be like, hey, look there. Like, it's
no steam.
No steam, no healing. Gotta get some alcohol to disinfect. Like, like it would have been real simple, I feel like.
All right, what's the next one that you guys want to talk about?
They could do like the continuation of Eminence In Shadows.
Oh yeah, well that's season 2, so that one's not a continuation. Is a new one,
yeah.
Oh,
so that one is a new one. So well, I guess not a new. It's a season 2, but it's the beginning of season 2.
Yeah. So good.
I think it's still really good.
I love it.
Mm-hmm. It's such a fun watch.
I love like that everything like we don't get things in Eminence In Shadow that never come back. You know what I mean? Like, the fact that we get to see the Witch of Calamity again, and the fact, like, how powerful she is. Yeah. Right? Because before we just knew that she was a powerful person that was locked up. Right? But now we see that she is so strong that if she just had, like, her original body, she could have just based on seeing it, done the all-range atomic. Yeah. Right? Like, that's nuts. But, like, she just doesn't have that.
My favorite part is when he's talking to the fox lady in the train.
Oh, about the counterfeit?
About the counterfeit. And he's like, is that what you really think? And meanwhile, he's like thinking like my plan is over. And she's like, no. And then she comes up with this like crazy idea. And she's like, you're a genius. You've been thinking about this the whole time. And he's like, yes.
Yeah, like yes.
Well, the funny part is like he doesn't even like say like when she says her idea, he doesn't even say yes. He questions her again, and like just because that's what he does, and she thinks of it as good thing I didn't go back on what I originally said because he was testing me. Yeah, like no, it's not it at all.
I know. But
like we've seen him do that with like the Shadow Garden people, but that was the first time I think we see it with someone not part of his group. And I was like, man, I got to learn something from him in terms of his delivery.
Yeah. No, I think Eminence in Shadow is great.
Yeah.
It's a high dive show. So,
High Dive's always killing it, but like they're crushing it extra hard this season.
I agree.
Because they also have Hulk continued, so it's
Hulk
season 1, but it's continued, and there's also Dark Gathering continued.
Dark Gatherings is so much. I'm loving it so much right now.
I have no idea if this is airing in Japan because I can't see how it could be.
Why?
It's so dark. It's like some of the stuff is great. A lot of the stuff, like, they do not hold their punches.
Like, it gets scarier every episode.
I am so glad we watched it. Was it the first 2 episodes?
Yeah.
At AX? Because, like, honestly, I probably wouldn't have watched this.
I agree.
Yeah, because one of the, like, really interesting things is I always thought when it first started, right? I was like, it's very weird that they drew it in such a cartoonish way. Like, it's not like JJK. It's not like adult drawings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, I'm like, I feel like it cuts back on the horror a little bit, and I get why now. They have to. Because otherwise, that would not be on TV.
It would be frightening.
Yeah.
Rated X.
Yeah.
So what's been the scariest ghost that you guys have seen so far?
Oh, it has to be the butcher guy. Right? The big butcher guy that, like, had a whole thing of things he did to people.
Yeah.
I
agree on that.
Yeah, actually.
When he, like, has, like, that person's, like, intestines wrapped around their neck like a dog collar. And
I'm actually surprised that wasn't censored in any kind of way.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. They were like, it's ghost intestines. So it's okay. Like, that's literally what went through their head.
And yet Tokyo Ghoul was censored.
Like,
but this is
they
like...
weren't really ghouls. That's why.
No, ghouls are alive, Ghosts are just...
Wait, are ghouls alive, technically?
Because they can be killed, yeah.
Yeah, right? I would assume that ghouls are living.
I always thought ghost and ghouls were, like, somewhat synonymous.
What? No, they're so different.
Ghouls would
are
be
similar to, like, zombies.
I was going to put them more like lichens and werewolves since they eat hearts.
Maybe not werewolves. Maybe, like, a cross between a lichen and a...
What is a lichen?
A lichen, it's like a subdivision of a werewolf, just, like, more quote-unquote evolved.
Mm-hmm. And, like, zombies.
I guess I don't know much about cryptids.
Well, that's on you.
That's because you don't watch Supernatural.
Oh, true! Guys,
the good old Supernatural. Oh, let me put some salt in a circle on the floor around
They
me.
Can't cross!
Oh, what? No, this is just a really light... this is just really a pale-skinned kid that, like, lived in the walls.
Oh, but if a ghost can control wind, it's all over.
Yeah,
it's gonna fucking like move the salt with the wind power.
They did that one where, like, it broke all the windows.
Yes. Anyways, back to anime.
Yeah.
So another continuation.
We don't want to hear your fan fiction, Jess.
Oh, you want to hear. So the next one is JJK, which is also continued.
S tier.
Toji.
When Toji came back.
Oh my gosh.
The way when he, like, fell out of the water, like, with his, like, hands like this, I was shaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I almost wish I didn't read this in the manga because, like, I mean, I still loved it. Yeah. But, like, seeing that for the first time, I bet I would have been freaking out. Like,
it's nuts. Yeah. As someone who doesn't read manga, I can confirm.
So
if you do not read manga, you will live such a happier anime life. I promise you. Because 1, you don't have an idea of what it's going to be like. You just get to see everything firsthand. And 2, you don't care if something's removed. You appreciate animators as human beings.
There.
I'm sorry that they don't just, like, you don't have a scene where someone just sticks their hands up someone's boobs. Sorry, anime fans.
It's so funny that he's saying things like, because, like, you're not going to get things spoiled to you. Meanwhile, he's literally read Tokyo Revengers specifically because he didn't want to wait for the anime.
Yeah.
That's the most plot-heavy
And you know what I've done to myself? I've let a gap for disappointment to enter my heart. And that's on me.
How big of a gap are we talking, though?
I don't know. So far, Tokyo Revengers has done really well about like staying on the story and not like excluding anything that's important. So I would say like we're pretty secure with Tokyo Revengers.
One thing that's really good about this season is we finally raised the stakes. Before, he could always go back to the future.
Wait, this fool hasn't seen it.
Yeah, I haven't watched this season.
Spoiler alert.
It's just, my complaint about Tokyo Revengers is that it's on Hulu.
Yeah, the ads suck.
Yeah, the ads.
That's my, well, it's not even, I mean, because I mooch off a friend's Hulu account. But it's just, because it's not an account I use often, I forget about it, you know?
That's fair. But I'll tell you something that might get you back into it. So before, it's like you can always go back to the future and come back. So it's like, what are the stakes? Just keep going back and changing it, right? They made it so that the brother of Hina, in the future, so he can no longer go back.
And he touched him with his dying breath one last time and said, "No more coming back."
So Takemichi is in the
that is now him. That is him for the rest of the rest of the show.
Because he can't go back.
He is now no longer a 27-year-old in a 14-year-old's body that's going to go back to a 27-year-old's body. Yeah. He is now a 27-year-old in a 14-year-old's body living out that 14-year-old's body life for the rest of the time.
That raises so many different moral dilemmas too.
Well, not only that, but
it's
we got the discussion. Like Hina finds out. See, like episode 1.
Yeah.
He breaks down episode 1.
Yeah.
Like I'm not really spoiling anything because I'm not gonna say like how he breaks down, but it is so realistic of how he breaks down.
Like he had a mental breakdown.
He had a mental breakdown. Once the whole Naruto thing happens, his mental is done.
And there is a plot twist regarding Mikey's brother that came up.
Oh yeah,
and it is good. It's gonna spice things up about Mikey.
Yeah,
I don't know if I could look at Mikey the same way right now.
Why?
Because of that one guy from.
Yeah.
Oh my
god. We literally just the other day when we were watching Tokyo Revengers, I pretended to like tear up.
No, you didn't.
Yeah,
no,
I was like, I just can relate so hard.
Yeah, I don't know. It might take me a minute to kind of wash that from my brain. You know.
That's fair. That's fair.
Man.
Yeah, I mean, it's turning out to be a really good third season, though.
It's a great third season, in my opinion.
Yeah, just like Jujutsu Kaisen is such a good second season.
Yeah, you know this. I mean, we said it earlier. It's there's too many good ones this season. I wish they would have spread them out a little bit more.
Yeah, I would have loved any of the top ones in summer.
Does anyone else have a feeling that this next season is gonna blow?
I hope not.
Actually, this next season is gonna be so rough.
Even if it does, it's kind of okay because I'm behind on like half of these.
Like you kind of want it to be so that way you can go back and watch some of the good ones.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Like that weren't great.
Yeah.
Well, we might even have some continuations, right, for longer seasons. Or do we not have any this time?
Not that I know of.
Yeah, not that I would.
Usually Tokyo Revengers is a long season.
Tokyo Revengers.
Is that gonna be 24 episodes?
I don't know.
No, it's. I think it'll be 12. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, either way, Tokyo Revengers such a solid anime this season.
Very, very solid.
Yeah.
But you know what was also another amazing one? Shangri-La Frontier.
You know, that's one I haven't watched.
Yeah.
And it's one I wanted to watch, but here's the problem. It lives in the MMO genre.
I know.
And I just watched Goodnight World. I have to give time because if I go straight from Goodnight World to another MMO, I might be disappointed.
It's
completely
different.
Is this the one with the dragon in the first episode? The ice dragon or something?
No.
Oh, what is that?
An ice dragon?
It's like a white-haired guy and he like defeats some kind of dragon or something.
I don't even think you're on the same season as us.
Oh, you're talking about Ragna Crimson, which is another phenomenal. Oh, that is such a dark. Okay. That I'm surprised that's actually allowed in Japan.
So
that's another High Dive one.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm saying. High Dive,
it's crushing it.
They are so picky in a good way about what they put on.
Like Ragna Crimson. Yeah. Oh my gosh!
I've been wanting to watch it. Gosh. I was planning on watching it, and I saw a reel of it, like someone posted something, and it was like the guy like offing the dragon, like I think it's like episode 1 or something, but he like pretty much like.
Did he have short hair or long hair?
I don't remember. That's such a detail.
Oh wait, he touched. No, it's actually a big detail. he touched it and it disappeared?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he did that, right? Yeah. And then, like, pretty much, like, it gave me the vibe. It was only a reel, okay? Only, like, 15 seconds.
Okay.
But it gave me the vibe of, like, your stereotypical OP character, doesn't have to try very hard, just boop, did, you know? And so it made me a little disappointed. But I have not even seen the first episode.
That's like the first 30 seconds.
Okay. Does it get more fun after that? Does he stay like OP to the point where he doesn't really even have to try?
Yes and no. Do you want me to tell you? Because I can tell you.
Care.
So pretty much that's him as an adult after he had to witness every single person he loved burned to a crisp by all the dragons.
Do we go back to the past and see how
he made a deal with one of the dragons that controls time.
Oh.
The deal is pretty much after he unalives all the other dragons, he has to find a way to unalive her or him.
Oh, they want to be unalived?
Yeah.
Okay.
And because it wants to make it a game.
Yeah.
So he sends him back. He sacrifices his future self sacrifices himself to his past self. But in order to do that, he has to give up on the people that he loves in the first place to save them.
This is like the opposite of Tokyo Revengers.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, this is a similar plot to one manga that I'm reading. Maybe we should have an episode of like mangas we want to become animes, because I would love that.
What am I going to say?
You would agree or disagree?
Yeah. How about this? Give me a synopsis and you say I would watch that or I would not watch that.
Yeah.
But pretty much same thing. He's trying to save the world, right? This guy, and all of his loved ones are dead. And the final fight, he loses very, very poor. Like he did not really stand a chance, but he pretty much like explodes something at the very end when the guy has his guard down. He takes a hit. He's not dead, but he takes a hit. And the guy is so pissed because he had a perfect record of no one ever being able to lay a hand on him, that he actually turns back time so that he can prove that he can't do that without like a cheap trick. But he's not going to come until much later. So this guy gets sent back in time. He's not OP by any means. He still has to like work hard to get stronger. So good.
So the Ragna, the main guy, he has a captain, right? Captain Mustang moment.
Oh, really? Like a revenge moment?
Yeah. And like I felt pretty justified.
Opposite on this one. This one, he knows the people who betrayed him in the future, but he like either does something or like approaches them differently so that they become allies.
So like Ryu of Healer.
No.
Well, I guess by that thing that you just said, then yes.
Yes, right?
Yes.
Oh no, but it's called Doombreaker. I would highly recommend.
He gets everyone on his side. He gets the knight. He gets the princess.
Yeah, that's just what I'm saying.
The goblins.
He gets the goblins. I mean, he gives a sacrifice to the goblins.
Yeah, he does.
Which was a different print. No, that was a different
that was
knight?
The sword hero.
Like sword
frightening how much of this anime you guys have watched.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where I kind of just want to have him get his revenge.
Yeah.
And I'm not satisfied.
If you've watched,
not even the maids are good.
If you've watched the first episode in full, like you didn't skip it, you watched it. Mm-hmm. I think you should be put on like an FBI list, like a watch list.
For what? Everyone's of age.
So here's
like just psychopaths.
Here's the thing about it. It doesn't get crazy. Like at first you think it's just a normal anime until you're like 12 minutes in.
That's true.
And then you're like,
what about? And then like, for some of that, it just hooks you.
And then you wonder like, how is this gonna continue?
It's the curiosity.
Okay? I really think everyone who's watched that should be on a list somewhere.
Yeah.
The fact that it's getting a season 2 is like bananas to me.
Yeah. Over Healer?
It's getting season 2?
It's getting a season 2.
Wow.
Look it up. Mm-hmm.
That's surprising.
It's been a long time, no?
Yeah, it's been like 4 or 5 years.
Unless I saw wrong and it's like something like Healers Get a Redo. It's like a completely different anime.
Healers Get a Redo.
Yeah.
No, but I will tell you, Tyler, I think you specifically are going to love Shangri-La Frontier, though.
Okay.
For different reasons.
Wait, so what's Shangri-La Frontier? Give me the whole synopsis, because I was thinking Ragna Crimson.
It's a VR MMO.
Okay.
And they play in a world that's Shangri-La Frontier.
Okay.
But the thing is, it's about a gamer who specializes in playing trash games and loving playing trash games. But Shangri-La Frontier is essentially like an S tier like game that he never thought about picking up because he likes working with like glitches and doing stuff like that. And he has a girl that's obsessed with him, but he doesn't really pay attention to her. So she picks up Shangri-La Frontier, and there's a store owner that also gives him Shangri-La Frontier because she's trying to play matchmaker. And he gets in this game, he creates like a gag character with like a bird head that's special, that like dual wields and there's like assassinations and whatever. And you think he's going to be overpowered. And he is for like the first episode and a half. And then he confronts like a mythical beast that, because he wasn't able to defeat, puts a permanent curse on his character that he can't equip anything. It cuts his like XP boost by half, cuts everything. And so the only way for him to get rid of the curse is he has to defeat that mythical beast. And that's where we are now.
Interesting.
And now he's like the number one player that other players are trying to hunt to unalive.
Okay.
So
it's a fun.
For Redo of a Healer, it looks like there is going to be a season 2.
Really?
Some people are saying it's going to possibly come out this year, 2023, 2024
winter
season.
Yeah.
So it's like pretty much almost closing.
They
up
didn't want it
production.
coming out in November due to NNN, but
I'm gonna personally put you on a list myself. I'm gonna call up the FBI. Like, you need to put this man.
It just means no shave November.
Yeah.
How does S start with N?
No neck beard November.
Yeah. Yeah. He's just looking out for men's health.
Yes.
Is he?
Yeah. That's what November's for. That's what I've been told.
I didn't know that shaving contributed to men's health because you said that's what that was about.
It brings awareness to men's prostates.
Oh, so he wasn't saying no neck beard November.
No shave November. That's what No Shave November is about.
But that's not what you said.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
No,
we could play a rewind and find out. Well, I'm
I'm always right. It's crazy. Every rewind, I've always ever been right.
So Jess, are you gonna watch the first 3 episodes of Redo of a Healer season 2? I have to for this show.
Yeah, so do I. You know?
Is it coming out on Crunchyroll or Hentai Haven? That's the real question.
On
simulcast.
Well, no, it's on High Dive.
It's on High Dive.
Yeah.
You're right. The original is on High Dive.
But that makes
Not
sense
where
because
I
High
watched
Dive
it,
also
but-
has like R-rated stuff. You know what I mean? Like High Dive has a bunch of R-rated stuff.
I would say like X-rated stuff because
Yeah.
they're like one of the few that actually have fully uncensored
Yeah.
like animes on their platform.
Is that?
Yeah, they do.
I'm sorry. I
'Cause-
just can't imagine the person drawing. You know what I mean? Like,
Maybe it's pleasurable.
you think so?
Or maybe it makes them a lot of money.
Well,
Yeah.
that we learned about animators that they don't.
But maybe
No, but
for
this is
this
different.
specific,
This is a different classification.
you know,
Mm.
you know, it's like being like you have a niche, you get paid more for being in that niche.
Like
2
furry
questions
drawings.
on
Yeah.
when are these new anime seasons coming out? When are they going to come out with actually just a redo of Rosario Vampire? And when is the 2nd season of Ida Deki Seki coming out?
What's Ida Deki Seki?
Never, never. Rosario Vampire. I hope.
I
Anyways.
won't ask.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. I don't think that's ever gonna get renewed. But
Yeah.
you know what was actually really surprising to me was Returners. Returners magic must be
Should be
special.
special.
Yeah. I thought that was gonna be a mid anime.
Yeah. Well, the animation, they make it look like it's going to be bad animation.
Yeah. But it's actually pretty clean. Like after the first episode.
Okay. So the first episode has some like bad CG or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Not gonna lie. Yeah.
Well,
it's pretty
Okay.
bad.
But
Okay.
it stops?
Yeah. It's not. I'll give like a B plus in the animation.
Yeah.
So it's not A.
Like, are we talking CGI that's as bad as that one? Gosh, what was it? It's not. It's like an isekai, but turns out it wasn't an isekai. Like there's like a little. God thing.
Serving a god in a godless world.
Yes.
Oh.
No, it's
so
better than that.
That's like
Okay.
a meme. That's
Because
a meme
they're
CG.
like.
Yeah.
Yes, but I still hate it.
I think if anything, we're more so talking about the CG of like what was the other one?
Oh, the fish thing on Demon Slayer?
Giant Beast of Aris, right?
Yeah,
more so like that.
So it's a little better than that, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like bearable. So
it's not. Yeah, like I said, it's not bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's the first episode's like the worst, and I don't know why. Maybe they're spending the budget for like later on. I don't know. But like, it just, I off the first episode, like 3/4 of the way through, I'm like, okay, so this is just gonna be your mid isekai anime. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
Turns out it's not an isekai.
Interesting.
So it's another VR MMO type of deal.
Did they nix all of the isekais? How did we go from an isekai season to a no isekai season?
As of right now, I believe it's a VR MMO. And you'll understand what I mean if you guys start watching it.
Well,
but because, like, he goes back into the past. He was in a game that turned real from what I can tell off the first episode. And then after he was unalived, he was born again and went back to day one being at school.
Interesting.
And now he's the only one that has memories left of all of his classmates.
Have you considered he's in a simulation?
In a simulation?
In a simulation.
Because
because
he goes back
in the bird cage.
Because he goes back into the simulation. Episode
AKA unsimulating from his third simulation.
Yeah, no, but it's just surprising. And like it's not like I wouldn't say like a S tier anime. But it's very, very actually enjoyable. It surprised me so much. I would actually rate it good.
Okay. Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know a lot of people are probably going to be, if they watch this, are going to say like, "Oh, Pluto should be up there." I just want to be very transparent that Pluto came out recently, and none of us have watched Pluto because they're all 1 hour and 30-minute episodes, and we can't watch 8 1 hour and 30-minute episodes that fast.
While watching everything else.
I'm definitely interested in how fake Astro Boy turns out.
Fake Astro Boy.
It looks good.
Older person that I know, like a friend, I was wearing an Astro Boy jacket, and he asked me, what's the story behind that? I'm like, oh, it's Astro Boy. And he's like, oh, what is that? Is that like one of your animes? And I was like,
the thing that's nuts is like Astro Boy.
It's an anime, I guess.
Astro Boy was big in the U.S.
Yeah, wasn't it?
Like yes, it
60s?
is from Japan, but like it came out in the
60s, right?
60s or 70s.
But still, I would honestly put Astro Boy at one time as big as Bob's Big Boy.
Like it was big.
I don't even know what Bob's Big Boy is.
I'm a little before your time, Jess.
Yeah.
I'm not old. Sorry.
It was
if
like
you've
a really
seen Austin
big.
Powers, you know what Bob's Big Boy is.
Yeah.
You know the burger that the spaceship for Dr. Evil. Mm-hmm. It's like a Bob's Big Boy.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. It is.
Like statue.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have very little memory of. I have watched all the Austin Powers, but I have very little memory of it. Because fun fact, when I watched it, my mom got a bunch of DVDs from the sale DVDs in Walmart. And she would play them in our van, like on the little thing that comes down from the van. And she doesn't speak any English. And I was trying to learn English by watching American television. And so you can imagine how young I was. I was 7.
And she let you watch Austin Powers?
I was watching
Austin
Powers.
This is a funnier one. Like her first school picture day, her mom dressed her up in a SpongeBob Patrick t-shirt that said "I'm with stupid."
I still have it. I'll send you a picture. It's pretty funny. Like I'm so little, and I have this red shirt.
Yeah.
With SpongeBob and Patrick, with a little like arrow that says "I'm with stupid."
Yeah.
On my school picture day.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, the other one I watched, it's like I don't know if it's called Road Trip, but it's about like.
Wait, Euro Trip?
No, Road Trip.
Okay.
But it is an R movie. And I was like, and those are the 2 DVDs that I was learning English from. And I'm like,
your English
did she look through a rated R bin? How did she manage to randomly choose 2 rated R movies?
I would say that she also learned English from Wallace and Gromit, but I found out that that's just not the case.
Oh, so Wallace and Gromit.
Do you know who Pengu is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the penguin that goes.
So you know how there's no like words
other than Mert?
Yeah.
So
I watched Wallace and Gromit when I couldn't speak English. I thought
Yeah, Jess just tells me one day.
I was like, oh yeah, Wallace and Gromit is really fun. I really like movies or I really like shows and movies that like they don't talk, like Pingu. And he's like, they do talk. I was like, no, they don't. They just go, moop, 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 moop. And he was like, no, they talk. I looked it up. I just didn't speak English. They actually talk. And I found this out recently. Like in the last year, I found out that Wallace and Gromit talk.
How do you feel about Gumby?
What's Gumby?
You know what Gumby?
She probably doesn't know Gumby.
The green thing?
Gumby was like slightly like before my time. I only watched
You have
it because
remember, I only started consuming American media at the age of 7. So it's not even just when I was born. It's like 7 years after I was born is when I started consuming American media.
Gumby is not like probably up your alley.
Never mind.
But isn't that embarrassing? I was so confident.
It's a fun story.
So embarrassing.
Are there any that we're missing?
That were good this season?
Because I can talk about some that I thought were S tier, but I mean, that's only if we don't have any other ones that
the issue is that there's just so many that were good. It's actually kind of hard to keep up with.
Well, the issue is there's triple S's, and then there's S's, and there's A's. And I feel like we got all of the S's out of the way.
I personally have another S.
What's your other S?
Okay, what is it?
OniMusha.
Oh, is that the samurai one?
That's the samurai one.
Yeah,
so
we've only watched one episode, though. Let's be clear.
I've only watched one episode, but so it is a video game. It's based off of the video game, but it has like somewhat video game-esque like animation, but I would say like 1,000 times better than Tekken. It's just different. You know what I mean? But the animation in the trailer is much worse than the animation in the actual like anime, in my opinion. But
I thought the trailer was the exact first minute of the anime. The only difference is when you watch it as a Netflix trailer, it's a tiny little screen
that's what I'm
on
saying,
the corner.
Though, but like that can like impact things.
Is it the same as what's that other? It's not the one that's similar to Baki on Netflix. Kenshi.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't watched that one.
I haven't watched that one either, but that animation kind of looks similar.
Oh, does it?
I would say it's like really weird in that like it's 2D with like 3D aspects to it.
Is it like Street Fighter cutscenes?
Similar. I would say a little better.
A little better? Okay.
But I think it's really good. Has a good story. Anyone that's played the game would probably find it interesting, but like if you're into Musashi Miyamoto, which is like the guy who wrote the Book of Five Rings, one of the greatest, and Jess doesn't believe this person's a real person.
No, that's not what I said. Let's be clear. So, do you know the guy?
Yeah.
Okay. He was also in Record of Ragnarok, if you watch that.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not saying he didn't exist. Obviously, someone had to write the Book of Five Rings, okay? What I said was I don't believe
in his accomplishments.
that all of his accomplishments are real, because it was something like he's won 60 duels to the death and won.
I think like 57, yeah, something like that.
Now, I believe he's won a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
57? I doubt it. I think what actually happened is he had invented a dual sword technique, and he needed people to come and learn from him so he could make some buckaroos. Okay? So he started telling people, hey, yo, you know I defeated 20 people to the death? And they're like, wow, I want to learn from you. And then some people, after hearing the 20, word spread, they come, he beats them. Yes, he does. But maybe like 12 max,
but
right? Across his lifetime. And then he just keeps like sprucing up his own numbers to sell his,
But you're also
crosses.
talking about a samurai who most likely had a lot of honor and had a lot to lose by lying if he was found out.
Yes, but
which was
how
also
could they
punishable
find
by
out
death.
in a time of no internet, no fact? Who's gonna say it didn't happen? The dead people, because he said it was all to the death, right? Like it's just a ridiculous.
The dead people, his family.
Most of them were like traveling samurais or like So I'm just saying I don't know if I buy it.
The proper term is Ronin.
Okay. The thing is, it'd be different if he didn't write a book and he didn't come up with the two-sword technique, right? But the fact that he came up with the technique himself and he wrote a book.
He didn't write a book.
Scrolls. It was scrolls.
He didn't even publish
for
it.
The people. Yeah,
it was
I know.
Literally
but
someone else found his work
but I'm just
and then
saying,
published it.
I don't know how much I believe 60 duels, won to the death. Not to mention, when we first started talking about this in the anime that we're watching, right, the actual one, he is a great samurai already, right? This is not his comeuppance. He is a great samurai, and he goes on this, like, Oni hunting quest, basically. Yeah. That's about hunting Oni. So it already seemed fake, you know? I'm not like, yeah, he definitely hunted down Onis.
He's a character in Japanese history that existed, but other people have added folklore to him. But he existed. But and here's the thing, is like, you might say, I don't believe that happened. Andrew Jackson got into 500 duels while in office.
Yeah.
And won. He didn't.
Two things with that.
Didn't.
One, I don't know how much I believe that either, but that doesn't matter. Two,
I mean, those are documented duels.
It was with a gun, right? Yeah. Yes. I believe he cheated. Every single one. 1, 2, pow! He did not wait till 3.
Look.
Well, it's not 1, 2, 3. It's paces.
Yeah.
It's whatever. He ran. He like skidded. You know. He didn't even go 3 paces. He just turned.
I don't know. I look. He may have been a bad guy, but he was also a badass. Yeah. Like, this is not a guy that you would have wanted to mess with. The guy like beat to death someone with a cane.
Teddy Roosevelt also like boxed. What was it, like a bear?
Oh no, I don't know if it was a bear, but yeah.
There's a picture of that.
He bucks something, some kind of whatever. I wouldn't have believed that either.
He also rode a bull moose across the river, and that's nuts.
That I didn't know.
But hear me out, okay? Let me throw a hypothetical at you, okay? Chinese person here, okay? Oh, well, Genghis Khan, he killed all these people. He won all these duels. He's the greatest conqueror the world has ever seen. Japanese person. Well, we have, what's his name?
Musashi
Miyamoto, and he wrote the Book of Five Scrolls and invented the dual sword style. Okay, well, Genghis Khan beat this many people in battle.
But isn't he
knowing that he only beat 10 people?
But isn't he
Ours
Mongolian?
beat 60. But like, it doesn't have to be as big as Genghis Khan. Like, it could have been anyone. But it's like, if you were a Japanese like person and a Chinese person kept saying like your Chinese conqueror was better than yours, right? And as a Japanese person, you're like, no, Musashi is the best, right? And then they start throwing numbers like, well, my person's won 50 duels. What are you gonna say next? Oh, well, mine's won 60. Right? Like,
I don't think the Japanese had to prove themselves to China. I think they already did that a few times.
Yeah, a few times. A few. During the Imperial era.
It happened. All those feuds happened because they came at them with like, so that's
the real story.
I'm just making up history.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I don't know if I buy that. And I also don't buy the Onis.
But it's fun to buy into
not.
it.
That being said, I will say the first episode is killer. It's so good. The pacing is great. It's so hard because like the first episode, you never really know if the anime is gonna be good or not.
Yep.
I have high hopes so far.
But it's like an hour, right?
It's like an hour.
So.
Yeah.
But like the whole time, my heart was thudding. Like I was like on the edge of my seat. It's so intense. Like the action is so good, but really intense.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not super dark. It's not super like shonen either. It's just good.
Yeah.
It's weird that Netflix is actually starting to get some good anime. Like their own anime, not like, well, you can find it on Crunchyroll, you can find it here. It's their own. Because like I've heard nothing but good things about Pluto. They have Goodnight World.
There's another, I think, few that they added this season, but I haven't heard much about them. But yeah, I think Netflix has been doing a good job. Again, my only request would be that at this point, Netflix has been coming out with so many animes that maybe they come out with a section that's like released this season.
Yeah.
Because like there's so many that they've come out with and they just put them all in like the same Netflix original spot that like, yes, it does say new episodes, but you know how long Record of Ragnarok had new episodes on?
Months.
Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like beyond 3 months, right?
Yeah.
Which is at least a season.
Yeah.
So like, I want to know that. I want to know which ones are new. I want to be able to find
I already
that
know
quickly.
there's people that are going to say, oh, you can just click on it.
It says the year. Yeah, if I go into it and then scroll and look through the year, yeah, sure.
Or at least give me a sort functionality so I can do newest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In this day and age, I deserve a sword functionality.
The problem with Netflix is sometimes, even if you had that ability, they'll put stuff as new, but it's just things that they newly acquired. It's not that it's actually a new anime. Like, it's like, oh, new Naruto.
Well, yeah, you know how many times so they lose rights and gain rights to Hunter x Hunter? So it always pops up as new.
Get a longer contract.
I know. Like, it's Hunter x Hunter, I think, on Netflix, like, stays at a time, like, 3 or 4 years, gets cut, and then...
At least it's not Food Wars. Food Wars, like, oh, would you like the rights? Which season? Season 1? Okay, I'll give you season 1, but it can't be a consecutive season.
Yeah, they're
season
like,
1 and 5 is yours.
They're like, we'll give you 50% off your second season if they're not consecutive.
Down. There you go.
Yeah, High Dive has like 3. Crunchyroll has like
1 or 2.
1 or 2.
Yeah.
They were like Funimation has its own, even though it should be on Crunchyroll. We'll keep it on Funimation. Like, it's nuts. It's actually just like crazy. And I don't know what to say. If you're trying to look for season 5 of Food Wars, don't just watch the first 4.
Yeah. And just think it ends that way. And you'll be happy.
Yeah. Especially the epilogue. Like, don't go into the manga to look at the I'm a huge epilogue person. I love epilogues. Not for this one. It's the most butt epilogue I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
It's like 5 or 10 years in the future. They're still not together. Not even like romantic tension or anything. Just not together.
Wow. That's sad.
It's because he's not going to end up with her. He's going to end up with Megumi? Or not? Her name's not Megumi, is it?
Yeah.
Is it Megumi? Yeah, it is Megumi. That's right. Megumi was just given a girl's name.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know, it confuses me.
Yeah.
It's okay.
But, yeah. I think that's all we have for today. If you haven't, definitely check these ones out. Let us know what your favorite anime has been this season in the comments below. Really interested to hear people's takes. I've heard a lot of good things that I haven't just been able to watch yet.
Same.
Yeah. And keep a lookout for our next episode, which is going to be which animes really disappointed us this season.
Which I will say this. We did it this season and not last season because last season so much disappointed us.
Yes.
Like,
it would have been because this one is a long episode. The disappointing episode is going to be short. But last season was kind of flip-flop. So.
That was doo-doo.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much.
Bye.